Today I'm going to talk to you why motivation is a scam, and I'm going to show you how to actually be successful and conquer your dreams and show you how to get some real progress. But first, before we get into the video, like how we start every video, glory be to God and our Lord Jesus Christ, and I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Now, to first understand why motivation is a scam, I think it's really good for us to know what motivation actually is. So the definition of motivation is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. That word desire is a very big issue. Desire implies emotion, and emotion in itself in our everyday life isn't bad, but when we're trying to get things done, emotion is impermanent. That means it's always variable. Emotions come and go super easily. What we want to conquer our goals is something permanent, something that does not have a lot of variety, so we can do what we need to do to get what we need done. So now that we know that motivation is more of an emotion than anything, let's just put it aside. You'll see tons of videos online showing how motivation will get you going and you can build a lot of steam off of it, and that's true. But for long, consistent efforts and to actually gain progress, you're going to want to get rid of it because it does not give you any good. All it does is make you go on an emotional roller coaster. All you really need are the things that I'm about to tell you right now. To start making some serious progress on your goals, it all comes down to one decision, and that one decision is you deciding to be accountable. So what does this mean? When we decide to be accountable, what we are basically saying is down the line in the future, we are going to put our emotions to the side and we're going to say, whatever I have planned that day is what I'm going to get done. Whatever I decide right now is what is going to actually happen and come to fruition in the future. Now, this will make more sense when I go into the full process, but right now, what you need to know and what you need to start with is to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am not going to make any excuses when the time comes for me to do what I set out to do. That is the first and major part, and that everything else builds off of this. Once we make that decision that we're going to be accountable with ourselves, we are going to take our path seriously, and now we are ready to start actually making some progress. So to first make some progress, we have to start with tenet number one, systems. Motivation is great for that feel-good, fuzzy feeling, but it does not actually move us towards our goals. While motivation is fleeting, systems build permanency. Permanency is what we need to build consistency, and consistency is what brings us towards our goals from what we actually want to accomplish. Now, how do we actually make systems? The thing about systems is they can be as simple or as complex as you want them to be. For the sake of this video, I'm going to start with the most basic system that anybody can put into place today. But right now, the simplest system that you can start is just planning everything out right down to the time, minute, hour, whatever it may be, how specific you want it to be. So let's use an analogy. Say my goal is I want to get in shape. I know it's going to take a lot of time, but I'm willing to put in the effort. I'm really willing to do what it takes to get into shape. So how do we really build this system? First, we're going to sit down with a calendar and our schedule. We're going to go day by day and we're going to figure out the days that I want to work out or the days that I want to start moving to help accomplish my goals. So remember point number one that we talked about, being accountable? That means in the future, when that designated day comes around, you are going to do it, no questions asked. Now, sometimes life happens. Things are going to pop up out of nowhere, but a lot of times things can be foreseen. So if I know I have a meeting at this time, I'm going to specifically change that time of day of when I'm going to work out. Whatever I decide that needs to get done, it is going to get done. So that's step one in making our system, designating the day. But what we designate is equally as important. So if I want to get in shape, but I've never worked out before, it doesn't make sense for me to jump right into the gym because I know it won't be consistent for me because I'm going to be super uncomfortable. I'm not used to all of these variables that are being introduced to me for the first time. So what we want to do is we want to make our first steps very accessible. So say I want to get in shape, that means I'm going to start by walking. I'm going to get super good at walking because it's super easy for me to attain. And not only is it easy for me to attain, it's easy for me to be consistent in. Every day I can find time to walk. No matter where I am, what I'm doing, I can find time to walk. So what this actually does is it builds momentum, and momentum is key. Momentum is different than motivation because motivation is fleeting. The thing about momentum is momentum builds across time, places, whatever it may be. Momentum is taking one event prior and it's going to influence the new one in a positive way. And not only that, it actually desensitizes yourself to the new hard factor that you just accomplished. Eventually, walking every day becomes super easy. I can up the ante and maybe I start doing jumping jacks. Maybe I start doing push-ups. And every time we build these tiers and these tiers, we're making positive progress on our goals. We are also getting closer to going into a full workout. If we jump straight in from doing absolutely nothing into a workout, it's going to be a big shock to our body, and that's hard to build consistency. But once we start with these base layers that continue to build on one another, we get that consistency, we get that momentum, and we're actually starting to make some serious progress. It's time to actually start diving into what we should be doing in these systems. What we should be doing in these systems is trying to find key objectives that are going to be high on our return of investment. So what does this mean? Say I'm having trouble building consistency, or I'm having trouble actually accomplishing and making some progress on my goals. If I am only capable of doing 10%, I want to try to fit as much in that 10% as humanly possible. So again, take working out. If I have the decision to either do bicep curls or I can do a plank or a push-up, I'd rather do a plank or a push-up because it's engaging multiple muscle groups and not just the bicep. It's going to have a higher return on investment as my overall wellness and my overall health, my overall fitness, because I'm doing more with the same amount of effort. So whatever you're doing, whatever your goals are, if you can only give this 10%, we want to be very selective about what we do in that 10%. That is having a high return on investment. So the combination of choosing the right things to focus on and the consistency of doing those, you're going to see some serious gains in your progress. Now, the thing that makes this work, and the reason why motivation is a scam, is because motivation is super fleeting. Motivation drives us to want to do things when we feel like it. Motivation is saying, you know what, I feel super good. I feel super fuzzy on the inside. I'm super juiced up, ready to go. I'm going to go lift all these weights. I'm going to do all these crazy movements. But the chances are you're not going to do that the day after or the day after. And even if you do, chances are a couple months down the road, you're just going to give up. We see this all the time when people are motivated on January 1st because it's their New Year's resolution. People want to jump right into the gym. They want to go hog wild and make this dramatic change. Chances are you're going to have a lot more success taking baby steps, but building consistent baby steps, where then we can build and build and build. So once we get consistency down and build positive momentum, choosing the right things will bring you very far. Now on to tenet number 2 for maximum progress: the order in which we do things. So we've established that the consistency and what we actually do will bring us closer to our goals, but the order in which we do them can actually make our journey doing these things so much more enjoyable. So I want you to imagine when you wake up, you're not a person, but you're a battery. You're well rested. As soon as you wake up, you're ready to go and you're ready to accomplish all of these different things. Say you have tasks 1, 2, and 3. Task 1 is super intense, super hard, but it's really gonna help you build towards your goals. Task number 2, it's okay. You're gonna have to put in some effort, but it's not super taxing. But task number 3, this is something that you actively enjoy doing. You get into a flow state. Time passes by without you even noticing, and you almost seem to gravitate and build more energy as you do this. So if I'm a battery and I'm full of energy, I have these 3 tasks. What makes more sense for me to start with? I think it's going to be task number 1, because that is the most intense, most effort inducing, and it's going to be the hardest task. This is the task that's going to drain a lot of your battery away. When we go through and we do this task, sure, our battery is going to decrease and it's going to drain down to 0. But we know that task number 3 actually fills us up. We finish task number 1, we're wiped out, we're exhausted, we're just like, you know what, I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to put any more effort in. But we have task number 3 in our backpack or in our back pocket, and that's going to give us energy and that's going to help us reset. So task number 3 is going to be right behind task number 1. So we refill our battery, and that gives us leverage for the rest of the day. So we do all the things that we need to do later on with a full battery and a full set of steam. And so when people say, I need to recharge, or I like recharge activities, a lot of times these can be very productive if you decide. So for me, example, when I am not feeling like working out, I'm super tired, I'm going to do that early in the day because that's when I'm my freshest. But after that, I'm going to be super exhausted, I'm going to be super tired, and I don't really want to do anything for the rest of the day. But making YouTube videos or filming or editing actually gives me energy because it's engaging, I like to do it, and it's productive because I'm actually pumping out content. And so I'm going to film and edit after I work out, so then the rest of the day I can do other high leverage things that I want to get done, which might be our task number 2, the medium efforts that will still help us get closer to our goals. So when we are planning our future out on how we are going to get to our progress roadmap, it's important that we are strategic about when we place what tasks. The hardest task should come first because we are the freshest. Depending on how drained you are, you should always butt it up with something that's going to give you energy or something that you like to do. It doesn't have to be anything groundbreaking, but it's going to pay dividends later in the day when you have more things to do and you're actually going to build energy and momentum as you go. By doing this, we're just reinforcing that consistency and we are reinforcing that progress. So now we have this system where we're building consistency every day. We are doing high leverage things, so we're actually moving towards our progress and our goals at a faster rate than if we were doing something else. And now that we got the organization and the designation of what we're doing when, it's going to actually be sustainable. Sustainability, consistency, and high leverage things are what's going to bring you towards your goal. Motivation is not. Motivation is fleeting, it is impermanent. Consistency, sustainability, and high leverage are going to be permanent, which means you're going to be successful. A lot of times, not the most skilled or the luckiest, it's the people that can go in day after day doing the exact same thing with little to no improvement, but knowing that later down the line, because they are consistent, because they are sustaining, because they are doing high leverage tasks, it will work out. The best part about making these systems and designating the order is when the day comes, there's no thinking, no emotion. All your body does is go into autopilot and says, this is the task in front of me. I thought about all of this previously. I decided what was best for me. Now all I have to do is follow the plan. You're taking so much of the work and decision making out of it by front loading it earlier in the process. And this system can work for any area of your life. It can be work for physical health, business, school, doesn't matter what it is. As long as you designate what's important and you decide the right things to pursue and you do it consistently, you are going to have that progress. Emotion is not going to give you progress. It is only going to be a roadblock. Now, if you are struggling making that first step, that being able to say, no matter what I put down, I'm going to follow it, that's where you really need to put a lot of that internal effort. It's very easy to follow the plan once you make it. And that plan we just talked about, you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of time. But it only works if you truly buy in and truly become accountable to yourself. If you truly want to change, the only decision that you need to make is that you are investing in yourself fully. Everything else, the system that you put in place afterwards, that is your decision making for you. You decide early on, this is what you're going to do, and you are going to create fail safes, aka the system, that is going to guide you to success. The thinking and the emotion doesn't play a part after you decide that this is something that you're going to pursue. It is one decision, one planning phase, and then the rest is just gravy. It's just a train of reactions, and you will get to where you want to get to. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, doesn't really matter. I hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you later. Peace.